Okay, so we are live now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Our webinar is all about AI and e-commerce, and we are very happy to have you here. So today we have really a brilliant lineup with us, and we are happy to be able to share on this topic from such different perspectives. So we will be probably starting in a couple of minutes, just letting for everybody to join. And yeah, just let us know if you can hear as well. Uh, we can see there are people leaving comments saying that things are all right, which is great. And yeah, we will be starting in no time. Hoping that you guys all have a great day today, have or have had.
Or evening or night.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're a little bit from all over the world, right? You're calling from New York, is that right, Anna?
Exactly.
I'm in London. Nick, you are in
Bulgaria right now.
Bulgaria, and Clayton.
I'm in Puerto Rico.
Oh, Puerto Rico, wow. And Oxana, you are in?
I'm in Spain right now.
You're in Spain. Yeah. Wow. So literally from all over.
Where in Spain?
South of Spain.
Like Malaga or where?
Yeah, Malaga region.
Nice.
Lucky guess. Okay.
Yep.
Believe it or not, it's snowing in London, so it's been. Yesterday was snowing, so.
Yeah. I spoke with one partner recently. She was telling me that she was looking outside. Okay, sorry, I'm looking outside, but it's snowing. And I saw that last week. I was in London. The weather was okay, and I saw there is a snow blizzard next week. I said, okay, so perfect timing. By the way, it didn't rain for a whole week when I was in London, so I guess I got lucky.
I was in Vegas last week, and there was snow in Vegas. Like not on the ground, but like up in the mountains.
Oh, wow.
It snowed in Vegas before I got there. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Was it a conference?
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I was there for ASD, the whole.
Oh, yes. Yeah, a lot of people went.
Yeah, the desert, it's cold. I've been there once in January, February. It was very cold.
Yeah, I don't trust it.
Interesting place. As an Italian, it's very weird. Very interesting.
How do you survive as an Italian in London?
I don't know. I actually live in Ireland, which is even worse in terms of like weather. Yeah, but I left Italy like 20 years ago. Moved to Australia, so I don't know. You don't. I guess you take the best and you leave the worst out.
Which part of Italy are you from?
How much do you know Italy?
Well enough.
Well enough. Cool. I'm from a place called Rimini. Do you know Rimini?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on the coast very close to Venice and things like that. Yeah.
Sure. Nice. Quite a warm part, I would say.
Yeah. Left 20 years ago, so it's been a while.
Nice.
The weather in Puerto Rico, if anybody was curious, very good.
We are not jealous.
Right, not at all.
Yeah, I'm not even asking Clayton. The only issue with the Caribbean is that once in a while we have a hurricane, and then the weather is not great. Otherwise, it's perfect.
I'm from Missouri, and I tell my friends' parents will be like, "What about the hurricanes?" And I'm like, once a year, like you see them coming too, so you can just fly away.
Right.
You can be like, "Oh, hurricane might come. I'll just fly away." And Missouri has tornadoes and bad weather. So I'm like, what about the tornadoes? And they're like, oh, yeah, the tornadoes. I mean, people have been living in the Caribbean for millions of years, or thousands, many thousands, whatever. So, yeah, I'm not worried about hurricanes. They happen, but most of the time they don't.
People get surprised a lot, and they ask me, where's the nicest place that you lived in terms of like weather? And I have to say Ukraine. Yeah, Ukraine to me is the best. I just love seasons, it's like very, very cold.
Yeah, 4 seasons.
Yeah, but very, very nice summer, super nice summer, like Italian summer. But I love the winter where everything is white and I just love the changes. When I was living in Australia, that's what I missed the most. Like doing like Christmas with on a surfboard at 28 degrees. It just didn't feel right.
Yeah, I mean, we got 4 seasons in Bulgaria as well, by the way. So you're right. I mean, when I lived in California, like the whole summer, I didn't see a single cloud. So at the end of the summer, I saw like a cloud, few raindrops, and I was so happy. So I understand exactly what we're talking about. So it's good to have like different, seasons for sure.
Yeah, one season in Ireland, which is
one season.
Yeah, just the rain is a bit warmer in the summertime, and it gets a little bit colder in the wintertime.
No, I have some Dutch partners, and know what they told me, that summer is the best season, is the best day in the. How is it like? Summer is the best day of the year, in Netherlands. So summer is the best day. So I guess.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, when are we starting?
Yeah,
because it's getting. You say it's boring to talk about the weather, right? So straight up talking about the weather.
Weather.
Yeah, people came for the AI. We talk about weather and vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Turns out this is just a geography lesson. Nick's gonna turn around and start pointing at his map.
Yeah. Okay, right now, Clayton is in Puerto Rico. He's gonna show you the beach. It's a sunny 8 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. You can go to get some cocktails.
Yeah, we need the green screen.
Okay. Oxana, she's here down here in Malaga. Anna is here in New York, and Matteo is here. You don't want to go there. It's snowing.
Oh, Nick, I think you're doing just great, and probably like you could be a TV presenter on a broadcast show, like for sure. So consider it maybe sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I have the map. Everybody's asking me about the map, by the way. So it's a very good gift. By the way, that I'm probably you guys know, but this is from Anna and from Oxana from ScaleJet. So.
Oh, we're happy you love it. Yeah, it's by the way, it's an Ukrainian brand as well. So the guys are doing those near Kiev, and the maps are really amazing. And Matteo, you should be prepared for one because it's also coming.
I met them. It's the guys that the warehouse was fully bombed, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I met them while I was in Ukraine. The warehouse was fully bombed, fully destroyed,
exactly.
rebuilt. Because I told you I was in Ukraine doing the documentary about e-commerce brands. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really, really great, and I think that people would be curious to see about it as well. So if you could just then after the webinar share like a link to the videos, so that would be great.
Yeah, that's amazing. That was really, really cool.
Okay, so then I think that we are ready to get started. Agree? Cool.
Who's first? Nick is first.
I can go first, second, fifth, whatever.
Okay, so then Matteo, you asked, you make it happen. No problem at all.
Seriously?
Right, why not?
This actually makes me feel good because sometimes when I'm last, I look at other people's presentation and I'm like, oh my God, I should have done much better. Right?
So I think that everyone did really amazing job preparing for this. I do know this for a fact. And just a quick intro from my side. So basically, yet again, we are covering today the ways how AI is already impacting e-commerce from different perspectives in terms of the processes, in terms of people, in terms of in terms of everything that is pretty much happening in the e-commerce businesses. So basically this is pretty much it. And Matteo, just a couple words about Matteo. He is a co-founder of a PopUp. It's a no-code e-commerce platform that lets the sellers control the customer journey visually. I think you should all check it out. If anyone is already using another platform, you have to check it out because it's really, really cool. And the way how you see the whole customer journey, it's amazing. So I do recommend it. and they are really changing the game in the online store building. And basically, the topic that Matteo is going to cover now is about the whole cycle from search to checkout. So from his experience, he definitely can share how AI does influence the whole e-commerce customer journey. So Matteo,
Thank you so
please
much.
share.
Okay, I'm gonna start presenting. You can all see my screen?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if I go back to StreamYard, it'd be nice to be able to.
We actually see it full screen.
You can see the full screen? 1 sec.
Like
Okay, you can see this now, right? This is better?
Yep. So the presentation is like in full screen mode, so it's perfect.
Cool. All right, so a little bit of background about me. As I think Oxana said, I've been in e-commerce for the last 20 years. I started building PopUp about 2 years ago, which is an end-to-end e-commerce platform. We are going to, believe it or not, competing against the biggest company in the world called Shopify. I actually used to work for Shopify. So, and my co-founder as well worked for Shopify. So we decided to give an alternative, not necessarily, I hate the word competition, but kind of reinventing how people build online store. And everything kind of started for us to analyzing like the customer journey. And the customer journey is something that has been in retail for forever, since, I guess the Roman times, right? You can think about that there is always a door, someone that comes in, and then there is a place where people buy a product, and the journey within is what we want to focus on. And I think that the reason why we build PopUp is because consumer behavior is changing and technology as well is developing to a pace that sometimes is very hard for brands to keep up. And this is actually where AI comes in as well. Very recently, AI was not something that brands were looking at very heavily. And now I've seen in the last, I don't know, I guess 3 to 4 months, since obviously ChatGPT became one of the most viral things happening in the last 20 years. Now everyone is using AI somehow to help in any task in any sector. Shopify was already integrated, for example, AI into the product description. So we can start to actually think about what is the customer journey. So customer journey is divided in different parts, and there is about 6 parts in the customer journey that goes from awareness to loyalty. So the awareness phase is where you reach out to your customer through either a search or an ad or a blog article, and the customer discovers who you are. Then obviously what you want to do, you want to move them into a consideration phase. So where customers start to think, maybe this is something that I would love to use, I would love to buy. Then after that, obviously you want to convert that initial consideration into a purchase. You want the customer to buy the product. Then you want to deliver the product to make sure that the customer can experience the product or either a service or a product you're selling. And then obviously there is the loyalty. The loyalty, everything has to do with retention, from loyalty program memberships to email campaign and retention initiatives. So in all of these parts, AI can play a big role into the customer journey. And the way I see it is that AI can play a big role in helping merchants to speed up and improve the customer journey in terms of like data, but it's also in terms of like personalization. What is personalization? Personalization is that if you can give a customer journey to a customer that has that can relate to your content or to your advertising or to your loyalty program, there is a much higher chance that the customer is going to convert. So what I want to talk about next is this awareness phase. So the development has been happening in the customer journey in the awareness phase. I've been seeing a lot of things in personalized product recommendation ads, tools like Stable Diffusion, DALI, and Midjourney. I don't know if you're familiar with them. DALI, for example, and Midjourney are I don't know, I think I can describe them as the counterpart of ChatGPT for imaging. So you can, for example, with Midjourney, you can feed an image to Midjourney. It's actually a Discord bot. An image like, let's say, you can take a banner from a competitor site, and then you can say, give me different variations for this particular banner of this particular product. And then Midjourney will create the banner with like giving you like different ideas of the way you can design this particular banner. So this actually helps a lot, like the front end of the store, or even you can do this with ads. You know, you want to test different creatives for different advertising campaigns. So a lot of the times in advertising, what you do, you want to test different audiences, split different audiences, and try to find the winning creative. I've done a lot of advertising in my career, especially in the past when I was lucky enough to be part of I can call it the golden era of e-commerce, dropshipping, and Facebook, when it was really easy to actually launch a campaign on Facebook, and you had like a CPM of, I don't know, $6 to $10 in the US, which is something that right now it looks like a dream. And you are used to get like a 5 ROAS in return of ad spend. But a lot of things that we do was actually testing different creatives. And what we've seen is that once you find the right creative with the right audience, that's actually the campaign that you can actually scale, meaning that you can double the budget every day, but always maintaining a good return on ad spend. And then also we see an example in companies like Synesthesia, DataGrid, Zalando as well, which is another massive e-commerce player, and Pixelbuy. So for example, Synesthesia provides like a personalized video creation services using AI, and its services including like creating videos that have personalized conversation with individual customer, and then they translate this video content in over 100 languages with the ability to actually generate translation that sounds as natural as possible. So this is another important part of how personalization can play a role into the initial customer journey. Then DataGrid, for example, use AI to generate realistic images of human models, and like, for example, various online clothing stores, advertising campaign. And it's kind of a strong research and development team that uses something that is called GAN to create like really high quality images of model with different outfits. So the way it works is like, how can I explain it? It's like a game. So what is GN? I can explain GM that it's like a game. It's like one computer program that is called the generator tries to make things that looks real. And then there is another program called like the discriminator that tries to figure out if the new things are real fake, right? So both programs kind of competing against each other and then keep getting better at their jobs as they play this game. And eventually the generator gets really good at making things that look like they were made by human. So imagine you have like a robot friend who's trying to make a new picture that looks like it was made by a person. And then you have another robot friend who's trying to figure out what is the picture that is made by a person or by the robot. So they keep playing this game, and eventually your robot friend who makes the picture gets really, really good at it. And it makes picture that looks almost as good as one that people are made. So this is like, if you want to read more about it, the GAN is actually very interesting in terms of AI. Zalando is a company it's a German company. You probably know ASOS if you are familiar, like if you are like in the European zone, like ASOS. I think in US you have ASOS as well. Zalando is a German company and is a big marketplace for fashion. And they've always been at the forefront of content creation and automation in content creation. And I worked with them in the past of actually implementing these machines that allows to take like hundreds of pictures in a very, very efficient way for all their like e-com shoots. So what Zalando is doing right now, it offers a number kind of a cutting edge marketing solution to its customer. And one of its services is generating high resolution images of models with custom outfits with the ability to transfer both the outfits and the body pose to a different model with this. So another way to actually creating content at scale without having to rely too much on the human factor. And you cut costs, and you also can test things quicker. And then the other one I mentioned is Pixel Vibe, and was before the company was called Rosebud.ai, and it's another company that uses AI to generate model faces for specific marketing campaigns. So each model can be adapted for a different target audience, creating a lot of possibilities for advertising. And it claims actually to have a 22% increase in click-through rate after the first step. So when I was running advertising, we were actually doing this manually without the use of AI. And I'm talking about 2016, 2017. So what we were noticing is that when we were doing campaigns, for instance, in Brazil, or campaigns in Germany, or campaigns in Italy, even though the model was the same and the dress was the same, the performance was changing, not based on the product, but based on the model and the pose. And we were actually doing this manually, analyzing this manually. But now basically everything can be done through AI. Okay, let's go to the next one. Nike as well is at the forefront of this. Nike has been using adaptive landing pages powered by machine learning. So it's actually they're able to analyze user behavior and create customer landing pages that are tailored to each one individual user. So I kind of step back now of what are we talking about the customer journey. So we talked about the ads. So we were talking about the awareness side of things. We are now entering into kind of the consideration and the purchase. So how AI can play now a role into the consideration and the purchase of the products. So what Nike is doing, why is important? It means that every time you visit a Nike site, you are shown a landing page that is specifically designed to appeal to your personal preference and interest. Some companies started to do this, like Dynamic Yield, for example, but it was really, really basic. So Dynamic Yield, for example, knows that if you are a male, if you are a female, and so based on what they do, like if you go on an ASOS site, and if you're a man, you're probably going to see a man product before you see a female product. But Nike is actually taking this to the completely new level. So the benefits of this approach, it's really clear. So by using AI to create personalized landing pages, Nike has been able to increase conversion and sale, and customers are more likely to actually make a purchase when they feel like the website is tailored to their needs and preferences. So again, personalization within the customer journey and AI to use to leverage that at its fullest. Another thing that we are looking at is providing personalized product recommendation based on consumer behavior with AI. So if you can analyze past purchases and behavior, AI can suggest products that are likely to be the interest in the customers. It's just not just improve the customer experience, but it's also increase sales. This is really important because if you look at actually an online store and how a customer or our user visits an online store, you really want to minimize the browsing experience, right? So you don't want the customer to go on the product page and then going back to the collection page, check more products, and then go back into another product page. Once they are in the product page, it's more likely that if they scroll down and they have the personalized recommendation, it's more likely that they're going to add those products into the cart and convert quicker. So the less amount of friction, the less amount of clicks is usually results in a better conversion rate. So optimizing marketing campaign with the AI-driven data analysis, and AI can also analyze a vast amount of data to actually identify patterns and trends, allows e-commerce businesses to create more targeted and effective marketing campaign, and also having a better browsing experience within the site. Another thing that it's interesting and something that I've been very passionate about has been the blockchain technology and how blockchain has been used to leverage e-commerce from like fraud, but also supply chain. So blockchain technology provides a very secure, transparent ledger for tracking products in the supply chain. And we've been seeing this through the years with many companies. However, with the help of the high algorithm, businesses can leverage the data stored on the blockchain to gain valuable insights and optimize all their operations. So what you can do actually, AI can analyze pattern in the supply chain data, such as like, like demand fluctuations, supplier performance, and also optimize inventory management and also obviously reduce costs. So additionally as well, AI can be used to detect and prevent fraudulent activity on the blockchain. We've been seeing these brands like Louis Vuitton and luxury brands to use blockchain technology to actually fight fraud, especially like in the counterfeit products, fraudulent transaction. You can actually integrate AI into blockchain-powered supply chains, and businesses can improve efficiency and fight against like the big issue of counterfeits, especially in the luxury goods. So I hope I'm not going too fast. But I have 15 minutes, so almost finished. So the benefits of AI-powered automation as well, we've been seeing in order processing, inventory management, and shipping. So small pause here, we're going back to that famous slide of the customer journey. So we moved from awareness, and then we seen how consideration and purchase has been can be powered by AI. Now we're in the part of obviously delivery. So the benefits of AI-powered automation in e-commerce in delivery, it can automate a lot of routine tasks, and businesses can actually save time, resources, and reduce a lot of errors and improve order accuracy in their supply chain. So if you improve efficiencies, a lot of e-commerce business can also improve customer satisfaction. And this plays a really, really big role into the last part of the customer journey, which is the retention. So it's like, I often say that a good customer journey, it's like a really nice dinner, right? When you go to a restaurant, you can have like a greatest dinner, but if the dessert and the last part of the dinner is not great, is it going to be a great experience? Or another example I can give is a movie. Like you watch an amazing movie, but the ending is not great. This is why when we built PopUp as well, I'm going to do a little bit of self-promotion here. We always felt that if you wanted to give a great e-commerce experience, you needed to control the journey from end to end, and not just like, hey, I need like a great landing page, but then I'm going to use, a clunky upsell or a checkout that doesn't really appeal to my customer and things like that. Like if you want to actually control everything, you need to do it greatly end to end. One last slide is my view as well on AI and how things are going and how things are going to develop. So I do feel that AI can automate a lot of tasks and it's going to be a lot of time saving. My personal concern and worry is that a lot of businesses and e-commerce businesses are going to jump on this without just thinking about money savings, and they're just going to be thinking about how can I automate as much as I can. And I'm a big fan of automation, and I bootstrapped all my businesses. And without working smart and automating things, I would never have been able to do this. But on customer service, for example, one thing that I'll always say to my team is always said, treat your customers like your friend. So when my team asks me, hey, what should I say? What kind of tone of voice I have to do? I just say, treat them like your friends. Treat them like you are helping a friend, not like a stranger that is buying something from you. And that's kind of changed a lot the dynamics of, for example, the customer service. So obviously AI, chatbots, and all of these, we're going to see that a lot. But a robot cannot really treat someone like a friend. A robot is going to give you some answers, and that's it. They cannot just go the extra mile. You can create amazing images in Midjourney, in DALL-E. You can use ChatGPT to write blog posts in 2 seconds. And also, I want to give you a spoiler alert, and I want to be super transparent. All the images that you have seen in this presentation have actually been created by Midjourney, which is an AI solution. So even myself, I use this to actually create the presentation. But the last slide is where we're going to see where the issue lies. So if you look at this image, who stands out, right? So what we're going to see content, we're going to see chatbots, we're going to see blog articles, we're going to see so many things now coming up in the next few years that they're going to look literally all the same. So if you want to stand out, you still need to create something that is different, and it cannot be done just by an eye. So the way I use personally ChatGPT, or the way I use AI, it's to speed up my workflow for content creation and content ideas. But I always make sure that I give a personal touch and I put something that is just mine and human into whatever I do. So thank you so much. That's it. And sorry for going 5 minutes later.
No, it's been really great presentation. Matteo, thank you so much for sharing and for sharing, like on such a deep level, I would say, thinking the topic through. So I think that we also have a question, at least one, so we will be answering the questions at the end of the webinar. So just so you know, you have one waiting for you there.
No worries,
yeah. Cool. So then let's move forward.
Thanks, Clayton. I feel like Matteo will crash the movie and it didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody can see that. I think that's just our private chat.
I know, that was nice anyway. Yeah. I'm actually a very good cook. So I actually worked as a chef for a while. So I personally know that I done really good and I done really bad. And so this is for personal experience. Anyway, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you once again. And I think that Nick, you wanted to be the next one, right?
Yeah, I'm always ready. No, I was just posting, so I've shared the link for the live stream everywhere, so I'm ready to go. I'm just warming up. So yeah. By the way, this is the first time I do this presentation, so thanks to Anna and their team. They did it for me. I'm a lazy guy. I'm so busy that they said, "Okay, we can do it for you." And I said, "Of course." So let's do that.
Okay, great. Glad you loved it, and hope everyone will love it as well. So let me give you a short introduction too here, and you will be ready to go. Okay.
Sure.
So Nick Penev is basically the person who probably knows everyone in e-commerce. So if you ever want to connect with someone, you should first go to Nick, and he will help you out with that. Or if you're looking for partnerships to build them, you should definitely go to Nick and talk to him. So Nick is a partnership manager at hellotax, and he is also founder of Extreme Power Brands, which is a company that has launched more than 20 brands across Europe. So today, Nick is sharing with us on how AI is influencing the partnerships sphere in e-commerce. How do you use it in order to achieve explosive growth? So Nick, you have the word, and I'm also, I think, everyone can also see your screen. So please go.
Okay, thanks, Anna. Let me just reintroduce myself a little bit now. Almost everything that you said is true, but I'm just gonna add on some things. So I used to be an e-commerce seller myself for 10 years. I was selling private label supplements across Europe from 2010 until 2020. And here's some interesting story with Matteo. When I was starting to sell, I was paying 1 cent per click on Facebook and Google Ads in some markets. That was 13 years ago. I even still save the screenshots because it's crazy. $100 ad spend, 100 sales. It's crazy, but that's how things used to be when you were one of the first in the market. So long story short, we didn't know anything. We were early. We're one of the first companies doing Facebook ads in Eastern Europe and then in other markets in Europe. So we bootstrapped. We grew from like 5K in euro with the initial investment from me and my two other partners, and we had like 5 million in like 4 or 5 years. And eventually, what happened? Supplements are shady business. We got a lot of suspensions and all this kind of stuff. So Facebook kicked us out a few times, even though we're spending probably €500,000 per month at a certain point. And we said, okay, we're too reliable on Facebook, Google. We need to do something different. And we switched to partnerships and affiliates. That was in 2015, 16. So since then, I've been building partnerships first for my own companies, my own brands. And eventually now I sold my business in 2020. And this is how I ended up at hellotax. And it's actually a funny story because I was a client of hellotax. They were doing my VAT compliance across Europe, and they told me, okay, Nick, you're selling your business. We got to know you. You have a large affiliate and partner network. Can you do that for hellotax? Can you help us with the partnerships and advise? I said, okay, I'm too young to retire, so I'll do it for you guys. Let's do that. And I realized right away, a lot of companies in the space have no idea how to do partnerships. They're always willing to get without giving, and I told them, okay, this is not how we do stuff. We meet somebody, we either do something with you, or I connect you with somebody who can be a better fit. So I started connecting people like that. And then few of my other partners, they told me, okay, Nick, can you actually help us with partnerships as well? Can you advise us? And I said, okay, guys, you just gave me a great idea. I'm going to set up a partnership agency and network. So this is what happened with Extreme Power Brands. We rebranded that into a partnership agency and network. And partnerships is a very broad term. If you ask somebody, the aggregators, what's a partnership? They'll tell you, okay, agreement with somebody to refer a brand. Okay, that's bullshit. Agreement is not going to make anybody do anything for you. So building relationship is the first thing about partnerships. And the next thing is content. And I'm going to go into more details after that, but meeting somebody doesn't mean anything, All the stuff that happens is after the first meeting. So that's why I tell all my partners, I don't care what you promise, what you have, how big you are, how small you are. I care what we do after that. But let's go to the next slide. So AI and partnerships. Some people say, okay, what the hell do they have in common? They have a lot of in common. They're actually going to help a lot of companies which struggle with the same thing. So let's go to the next slide. I already introduced myself. I missed to mention that I'm a webinar hostess. So in the meantime, I was just planning my next webinar. I've done probably 200 webinars in the space. I host once per month a webinar with 4 or 5 speakers like right now, and I guest speak at other events like today. So I like to speak a lot. Whenever I'm invited, I connect people, I recommend people. So I like to do that. So another thing, I've been fully remote since 2010. I'm a big remote junkie. You cannot convince me that you need offices for all kinds of stuff. This is how I can spend the whole summer on the beach. Winter, I have no choice. The kids need to go to school. I've been telling my wife that they don't need to go to school. She doesn't agree. So that's why we're still in Sofia in the winter. But anyways, I'm hoping she's gonna actually listen to me and we're gonna move to Puerto Rico, Malaga, or some other tax haven like Portugal, for example. So let's go to the next slide. So sales versus partnership. So when you talk with somebody, they're going to say, okay, but why do we need partnerships? I would like clients. Of course, man. Everybody who has a service or a product, they would like to get clients. But which is better and why? One is better or the other. So I'll give an example. You're selling a product or a service. You would like to sell that to a certain type of client. The effort to outreach to one client and the effort to outreach to one partner is the same. You go to LinkedIn, you do cold outreach, you call them. When you have a call or a meeting with one potential client, you have 2 options. You either sell your service or product or not. End of story. When you meet with a partner, and if you manage to convince them that you're a reliable partner, you can actually build a relationship and you can get long-term revenue stream, because this partner might be working 550,000 clients. So eventually now you can get a lot of clients just building the relationship. So this is why I think partnerships are much better, and the opportunity is unlimited to grow your business now. And the best thing is you're paying almost no money. You don't need PPC. Paid marketing doesn't work for partnerships. You can use some cheap lead gen tools, or you can do it even yourself without any paid tools. You just need a LinkedIn account, Facebook, or whatever. So the best lead gen channels for partnerships are, for me, LinkedIn for B2B and events. Virtual, offline, it doesn't matter. Just to give you an example why I'm doing that. Now, I have like probably 1,000 partners in my network, and probably I've actually connected with almost 90% of them over LinkedIn. We send the message, we're never selling anything. We would like to be partners now. We can always do something together. We can either help you out, you can help out our partners or whatever. So there's always something that we can do. There's all kinds of tools. I'm not going to go into details. I'm not even sure, but probably there are some AI LinkedIn tools. I'm using one which is called Link Helper. Now, I've recommended this software to so many companies that they build an affiliate program because of that. So another thing is events. What we're doing right now is a virtual event. If you want to spend less money, you can do this event. You can invite great speakers like right now. And by doing that, first you add value to your network, then people watch the event, you get their contacts, and you can add those contacts to your email newsletter, for example, and you can continuously provide them more content, which would benefit first the audience, then yourself. It's like PR, lead generation, and content creation. So it's simple as that. So offline events, they're great as well, but of course it involves traveling, expenses, all this kind of stuff. And there's actually some negative aspects of going to in-person events. Actually, I was at one last week, which was great, but too many people, too many meetings. First, it's exhausting. Then I need a lot of time to follow up. And it's hard to make an impact and impression when you speak with 50 people in one day. So if you do it one by one, it's actually better. But this is just my opinion. So why partnerships? And I mentioned why this is the cheapest way to grow your brand. Because you only spend time. Of course, time costs money, but it's much better than spending money or like PPC or anything like that, because it would not work. Another thing that I always tell my partners when I meet them, they tell me, okay, we have so much money, have $500 million funding. I'm gonna give you a lot of commission if you refer this and that. Okay, man, I don't care. That's what I tell them. Okay, don't ask me what we can do with money. Ask me what we can do without. And when I ask this question to partners, okay, tell me what we can do without any money involved. And they look at me blank and they say, okay, I don't know. Okay, let me tell you what we can do. Because partnership is about first giving some value and then actually getting something in return. So money are not involved at the first stage. Like when you're dating a girl or a guy, it doesn't matter. You don't go to the bed after the first date. You need to build a relationship. You need to do some stuff. So partnership is a lot like dating. You meet somebody, you need to like each other first. You do some stuff to see who is reliable, who is not reliable. So it's as simple as that. So of course, it's not that easy. A lot of companies are making mistakes when they do partnerships. So the first and the biggest mistake, which I see with everybody, all my paid clients in the partnership agency and a lot of partners, they don't want to give and share. You only want to receive. It's simple as that. For example, one of my new clients told me, okay, we have 15,000 email list, but I don't want to share. Okay, man. If you don't want to share, the other companies don't want to share as well. So how can you actually promote your service to a different audience if you don't want to share? And of course, it's hard to convince them, but once they start seeing that, they start doing that, they realize that by introducing partners to your network first, you help them out with services that they don't have, which can actually help them grow, get more sales, whatever, and vice versa. You actually show your partner that you're reliable, you're willing to work with them. And of course, they're going to do that for you. The other thing, mistake number 2, partnerships are not about selling, but building your relationship. So I'd never sell anything. Even though I've been a sales guy for like 18 years, since kindergarten, if you want. I was painting drawings in my kindergarten during the communism in Bulgaria. I was getting like pennies from the other kids, and my parents were actually calling and say, okay, this is capitalist bullshit. Who actually told him to that? Nobody told me to that, but I just have that in my mind back then. So I think I went on a retort, so let me come back. So building the relationship, this is how it works. You cannot sell your service, and most of the time, the partner is not somebody who's gonna buy your service right away. Of course, there is such occasions, but in general, you would like to show them that you have a service that can help their clients. You're willing to help them out, and just building a relationship is the most important thing. The third mistake that a lot of partners are making, judge your partners by what they do, not what they promise. So that's why I mentioned in the beginning. I work with a lot of big fintechs, a lot of big companies, and I tell them, guys, I don't care if you have 1 trillion, 50 trillions of funding or whatever. I don't care if you have 50 or 5 clients. If you don't do something for me, when they do something for you, I don't care. I mean, so the partnership should be a two-way street. So if you're big, I mean, I don't care. I'm not gonna brag that I work with you if we don't get anything. So I'm very straightforward, and I tell everybody that it's important what results we get out of the partnership, but not what we're promising, because people promise all kinds of stuff, and a lot of time they don't fulfill that. So you need to obviously hold them accountable, and you should be straightforward, So, and the last mistake that a lot of companies are making, I was to actually one event here in Sofia, probably in October, and one guy told me, okay, affiliates and partnerships don't work. And I said, okay, man, how many partners did you find? And he said 5. Okay, man, of course it's not going to work. You need to find 100 partners, do stuff with them, and you're going to end up with probably 15 to 20 partners who are going to do the work. So it's a numbers game, and the more you get, eventually you'll find partners. So in my end, I have like 1,000 partners, and probably I do stuff with probably 20 to 30% of them. But all of that, you need to push that. You need to have an action plan. You need to constantly think of new ways how to actually help each other. So, and of course, we're going to get to the AI in a minute. So biggest blockers for partnership monetization. So content creation, distribution, and cross promotion and referral. So content creation is the hardest part for any partner, because you meet somebody, you're actually talking about what you're gonna do, how much money you're gonna make, but how do you do that? I mean, you need to actually start doing something. So you need to create some content. You need to do like a webinar like we do right now. We create the video, it stays online. You share that. It's good PR, branding, lead generation, and you're gonna get leads from that, but you need to create that. So if you're not doing that, it's hard to obviously get some traction. Then distribution, of course. For example, newsletter swaps, blog, like social swaps, and anything. All that involves content creation. And most of the time, unless you have you're a bigger company, you don't have a content writer, blogger, whatever. You need somebody to do that for you. So obviously, if you don't have the budget, you don't have the budget or the expertise, you cannot do that. So it's hard to move ahead with the partnerships. So this is actually where AI is gonna help a lot. Actually, I'm not sure why I have this 5 partnership types: service providers and brands. So I think I mentioned that. Now these are the different types of partnerships that you can do. Service providers or brands, they have similar types of co-marketing. Like social swaps is a great example. I'm gonna show you some samples at the end. I do those swaps each week. Sometimes we do more than one. It's really easy. I do a post for a partner. I get a few thousand impressions. They get some sales. They do that for me, and it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't take me more than like a few minutes to do it. Another thing which I get asked a lot, because in my company now, our clients are only e-commerce service providers. So brands are not clients for us, but I get asked a lot, okay, so what can you do for brands? Now, how can brands partner up? And actually, I was giving this example. Let's say you have a brand which is selling, in the kitchen, like niche or whatever, and you can actually team up with a different brand in the same category, which is not a competitor, and you can do something called brand alignment. You cross promote to your clients, they cross promote to yourself, and you can actually get some sales without spending any marketing. This is something that very few companies are doing. I know some of my clients who are aggregators are doing that, and I have a partner. I'm going to have a webinar with them next week. Post Purchase Pro, they have something called audience alignment, if I'm not mistaken. So they can actually team up brands, and they can actually help you to cross promote. And this is very important, especially right now when there is a slowdown, because PPC is good, but you should rely on other marketing channels where you can cross promote with partners. The only issue which I see here is with brand owners. Okay, what happened? They're not willing to cross promote. So that's one thing that we might do in the future. We're actually a partner of mine is actually building a software which would be like an AI matchmaking and audience alignment tool for brands and software. So we're gonna have this live in a few months. I'm gonna be running the growth for them. They will be one of my other clients, but we're gonna talk more about in the future. But this is also AI generated software. So how to solve the content block? I mean, like I actually heard about ChatGPT probably a few months ago. At the beginning, I was thinking, you know what, this is bullshit. I mean, I'm gonna make like a podcast or a webinar. ChatGPT would be the one of the speakers, and I'm gonna make fun of it. And I said, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And I started actually asking like queries to the ChatGPT. I was so impressed, and I said, okay, man, I'm such a dumbass. This is great, you know. I'm not gonna make fun of it, you know. It make fun of me. So let's do that. Let's see what we can do. I started using ChatGPT. Okay, my headset. Oh, sorry guys. So we're gonna use ChatGPT, like Matteo said. We're not gonna rely solely on that, but we're gonna use it to, for example, write like funny posts or just like emojis or just do content creation. And this is what we started doing. You know, actually gave some tips to my partners and my clients how they can actually create content easily, because that was a big struggle for everybody. You know, and there is one few tips that I found in the meantime. You know, for example, AI is very hot right now. So if you'd like to get some traction for what you do, there's a lot of hot like posts that people are posting on LinkedIn or Twitter. So by just sharing a post like that and just using these hashtags, OpenAI, ChatGPT, AI for business, you get a lot of impression. Just to give an example, like the last month, I just reshared few of those posts. I used ChatGPT to rewrite them in a funny way and to add some emojis, and I got probably 15 to 20 impressions per post. And this is, we're talking about not writing a brand new post, just resharing a note like a existing post, just doing it in a funny way using ChatGPT. I was doing one post like that per month, and I got probably a total of like 50 impressions for 1 month from LinkedIn, which is crazy. I mean, Matteo knows he has like 20,000, so you know that 50,000 impressions is a lot. You need to do like a viral post, and it's hard to do a viral post. So I did that just by sharing valuable AI content, and anybody can do that. I mean, you can scan the QR code, you can see the samples here. And of course, at the end of the post, you can put like some information about what you're doing, so people can see what you're doing as a call to action. How to use ChatGPT to create content. I mean, I'm talking about a very low level stuff because that's what we do. We're not doing any rocket science on my end. No, email swaps. A lot of people don't know how to write like emails for their newsletters or for email swaps. So if you go to ChatGPT and tell them, okay, write me an article about partnership with these topics, it's gonna do that in like probably a minute, and you have a ready to go a great email swap that you can share with your partner. You know, tell him, okay, ChatGPT, please add some emojis. So, okay, they're gonna do that. Okay, ChatGPT, write this social post about taxes and do it as if you're Snoop Dogg. And I did do that from time to time just to make them fun, you know. And so the idea is now how we can actually save time, because obviously, I mean, a lot of people know what to do, they don't have enough time. You might have a great software, but you need to create content. So ChatGPT would be your almost free assistant to do that. And of course, introduction swaps. Now, when you introduce somebody, a lot of times, people don't know what to write. So just a simple example: copy from LinkedIn or their website what they do, and ask ChatGPT, okay, write me an introduction. This is something that you can do. Me personally, I don't do that. I always write the introductions myself. But for people, it's hard to actually just summarize this information. So this is something that you can do in a matter of minutes, and it creates a lot of content. So, and just so you guys know, I am not such an expert in ChatGPT. I'm just giving you some high-level stuff from just my experience. But like Matteo mentioned, Midjourney. I have a partner, you know, who is doing like AI image generation, and he's one of the examples here about AI. So this is something that I did for a partner, you know. This is the company is called eCommerce. So what they do, you write a query, and then they create like images for products or other kind of stuff. So I did like a spotlight for these guys. I just used, you know, what they send me. I just rewrite a little bit with ChatGPT. I post on my LinkedIn profile. I got 11,000 impressions, and these guys got 60 new clients. They had a total 100 clients before that. So, and this guy is not a client. I'm not getting anything out of that. Of course, now he would like to be a client, which I don't mind, but this is not the goal with partnership. You know, he has a cool solution. I'm willing to promote them. They get some business. I get some impressions. Everybody's happy. So we're building a relationship. And of course, I mean, you can do that with everybody. It's not rocket science, but of course, connect with people, build a relationship, use ChatGPT, follow these steps, and I guarantee that you can grow a lot without spending any money but your time. So you can scan these samples, but it's really simple. I'm using it a lot, but just Matteo said not to write everything because we're gonna get dumber and dumber if we do that. Just to add some things that it's hard for you and it will take you a lot of time. For example, for me, emojis used to take me a lot of time. Right now, I do it in like minutes now. Okay, ChatGPT, please add emojis here, or just make it funny, all kind of stuff. But all that is actually generating nice content. People like that. It saves me money. I can do more. I actually teach and advise my partners, so everybody's happy in the end. So, and I think that's it. I mean, and just the last quote: don't ask what partners can do for you, but what you can do for the partner. This is what JFK said long time ago. So we're just reusing the quote. So thank you guys. I think I enjoyed the presentation. It's probably the first time I'm talking about that, but I think I like it personally. So
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Thank you, Nick. So thanks for sharing and for covering this topic. Partnerships are they are extremely important for any business and for e-commerce business as well, of course. So yeah, I think that probably the way how we are going to proceed now, we are going to go with Clayton Atchison, and Oxana will be then wrapping it up, kind of summarizing and why we are going to go that way. I think that, like the guys are sharing, their opinions from the different perspectives, and the Oksana will be closing it like with a people perspective. So basically how you deal with all of that with your team. So how do you adapt and adjust to all of that? So yeah, I think that now it's time to present Clayton to you. And Clayton, it has 10 years of experience as Amazon and Walmart seller. Currently, he is a community ambassador with Carbon 6, and he has also created an impressive company called Pixel Me, which is basically an attribution tool that helps sellers to track the conversions from different sources outside of Amazon, which is really, really great. And basically, given all the experience mentioned about, he truly can share on the topic about how AI changes the listing optimization game and how basically to win it today and later on. So Clayton, please feel free to take it over. And let me see. Okay, the presentation. So whenever you're ready.
Okay, awesome. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, the presentation, like Anna said, is about how AI narrows the gap in the listing optimization game. And, how do we take this information and look into the future? I remember not long ago, AI was just something you saw in movies, and now it's here. So I think it's a good reminder to think about the future. So quick presentation about myself. I'm Clayton Atchison. I've been in e-commerce for about 10 years. Anna said I'm a community ambassador for Carbon 6. I spend a lot of time traveling to different countries, different conferences, speaking, mostly talking about Pixel Me, but also listing optimization and a whole lot more. I've bootstrapped 3 companies. I've sold over $30 million online. I'm from Missouri originally, and now I'm in Puerto Rico. Missouri is great, but the Puerto Rican weather is better. And I think, as Nick mentioned earlier, there's great tax benefits. So first things first, everybody here has mentioned ChatGPT Fun fact, the founder of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, he's from Missouri. He went to the same high school I did. I did not know him. He was about 8, 9 years older. But fun fact, so ChatGPT, it's not magic. It's a large language model with huge sums of data. But that huge sum is big now, but it's getting bigger. And this technology is going to advance. So I believe the people that adopt it early on are putting themselves in a competitive advantage. And real quick about ChatGPT, I know some people already covered it, but it is only as good as your prompt is. So you have to ask it questions, and how specific you are with your questions is how good of an answer you're going to get. Similar with other AI technology. So there's a term called prompt engineering, and I'm going to read it real quick. Prompt engineering is a relatively new discipline for developing and optimizing prompts to efficiently use language models for a wide variety of applications and research topics. Prompt engineering skills help to better understand the capabilities and limitation of LLMs. So nobody wants to say that again. So we're just going to jump into some examples. So here's an example of somebody that asked a question to ChatGPT. What are some museums I can visit in Madrid? It's a pretty straightforward question. This guy is probably traveling to Madrid. He just wants quick information. It gives him a list of possible museums to visit. But if you do something called role playing and you ask more specific questions, the answers get much better. He says, I want you to act as a travel guide. I will write you my location and you will suggest a place to visit near my location. In some cases, I will also give you the type of places I will visit. You will also suggest me places of similar type that are close to my first location. My first suggestion request is, I am in Madrid and I want to visit museums. But he asked the ChatGPT to pretend to be a travel guide and to give him more specific recommendations. This is the answer. Great. As a travel guide, I would recommend starting your museum tour with the Prado Museum. It's one of the most famous and renowned museums in Madrid and is located at, gives the address, tells him that the museum has an extensive collection of European art. He names the artists, and then he goes on to say the other museums that this person should visit with exact addresses and tells him that they're within walking distance. The very last sentence, all of the museums are near to each other and you can visit them on foot. Enjoy your museum tour in Madrid. Very much now feels like you're talking to a travel guide, and they're giving you much better information on how to spend your time wisely in Madrid based on how good the question you asked. So I have a document of 68 different prompts that you can ask to ChatGPT if you're an Amazon seller, but also an e-commerce seller. And even if you're not selling online, it'll give you an idea of how to start thinking and how to start asking questions to get the very best answers possible out of ChatGPT or any other AI technology. So in this example, I said, please ignore all previous instructions. I want you to act as an Amazon FBA listing copy expert who speaks and writes English. Create a compelling and optimized listing for a cat tunnel. That's the product, including a title, bullet points, and a product description. Make sure to research and include relevant keywords, focus on the benefits of the product, and use persuasive language to encourage conversions. The listing should be about 200 to 300 words in total. Additionally, include a call to action and a sense of urgency in your listing. And within seconds, this is what you get. I used to have to hire copywriters off of Freelancer or Fiverr. The world has changed. Now, even if this isn't the final copy, you can get this in 5 or 10 seconds for free. Entertain your feline friend with our premium cat tunnel. It has bullet points talking about it being durable and long lasting, encouraging exercise and activity to keep your cat healthy. It's versatile and portable for easy travel and storage, safe and non-toxic. It's interactive and engaging. I actually sell cat tunnels online, and this is a great ad, especially for a first attempt with just a robot responding to you. It's incredible. And so anyway, this is something that you can get in 30 seconds. You can always have a human review this, make sure that it sounds right. But to get this for free within 30 seconds is mind-blowing. There's other AI tools as well. And at the very end of the presentation, I'm going to have a link where you can visit websites to get a lot more. We talked about Midjourney already. I'm going to mention that quickly. There's a similar company, and I'm not connected with any of these companies at all, by the way. This one's Flare. You can get started with just a few clicks. You drag your product. I did it last night. You drag your product into this black box. It removes the background and makes it look like this. And then you can visually describe the scene surrounding your product and get all sorts of awesome images. It's pretty, there's a free trial. That's what I'm on. You can do up to 30 images for free. And even if you want a professional plan, it's $10 a month and you can get unlimited images. It's crazy cheap right now. This can't last forever. AI is very new, very nascent. So people are, right now in the adoption phase, but as more people adopt it, prices will go up. So I did one last night with this water filter, and it says, edit the prompt in the form below. You say what the product is. It's a water filter. Where do you want it placed? I said, I want it standing on a circular marble platform. That was one of the options. I didn't get clever. I just picked one of the options they offered. And I wanted the Amalfi Coast in the background. It's this top center one is exactly what they provided. And I did some other ones too. I did one in the kitchen, top right. It's not good. I don't like that one. This one didn't make sense. I don't hate the bottom left and the bottom center. I actually don't like the way this product looks, like with the wooden handle. It seems kind of out of place. But the point is I did all of these images in maybe 2 minutes. And you can continue to iterate on these products. And this, I'm awful at Photoshop. I'm awful at everything. Even if this isn't the final product, if you take this and take a lot of the legwork out of it, you can start to give any person that you want to edit, blemishes, touch up, anything, you can save them a lot of time. And if you're saving them time, it should be saving you money. Now, it's not perfect. I told them to put a cat tunnel on a living room floor surrounded by cats with sunlight streaming down. I see no sunlight. This is the cat that it put in. And this is the living room floor. I mean, this would be an awful image to put on Amazon if you wanted to sell your product. So it's not perfect, but it's a great place to start. And I'm sure that these tools will improve. And I think, in full transparency, that Midjourney is on another level in comparison to Flare. These are kind of dark. I don't know why, but I couldn't get a screenshot of them with brightness. But imagine these being much brighter. These were some examples of what people had built inside of Flare. And these were really eye-catching, and I think they would be great products or great for A+ imagery on Amazon or anywhere on any e-commerce site. Another AI tool is Copy AI. It says, what are you looking to create? And you can pick sales landing page, emails, a bunch of other stuff. You put in, your product, which in this case is charcoal bags, your target audience being, in this case, homeowners. And I wrote some features that it removes bad odors. And you can also pick the tone of the message that you want to send, whether it's friendly or if it's from a luxury standpoint or bold or however you want it to sound. And the first one I did was luxury. The next one I did was friendly. But similar to ChatGPT, it came with what I believe to be a great start. It talks about having a house full of guests and having lots of different smells. But with charcoal bags, you'll keep your home smelling fresh. It talks about it being made with 100% natural ingredients, and that they're more porous than other brands, so that they'll absorb more charcoal activation. It goes on, and it even says that charcoal absorbs harmful particles like CO2 and VOCs from the air around it. All of this with very little input, very little. The benefits being cleaner air and removes bad odors. Now, you always have to be careful with any copy. If you're on Amazon or Walmart, they have rules about anything that is making any health claims, like removing things from the air, etc. So, of course, know the rules where you're selling your products, but this is a huge benefit. In full transparency, I still prefer ChatGPT, but I wanted to show you guys different tools And I recommend that you try them, because just because I prefer ChatGPT doesn't mean that you necessarily will. And I'm going to talk to you about some tools that I plan to try out. I will tell you that a lot of tools and a lot of services right now are being built off the back of ChatGPT and Bing's AI system. Like, the backbone a lot of times are the most powerful tools, and then services are built off of them, much like Carbon 6, the company I'm with, builds tools around Amazon. Amazon's the huge behemoth. Without it, all the Carbon 6 tools wouldn't exist. Same thing. And the AI world right now, ChatGPT is by far the most famous and the most popular, and I believe the most powerful. And that's why other tools are being built around it. This one I am super excited to try. I just haven't had time yet, and I want to set aside the right amount of time. This is your AI-powered Amazon listing optimization expert. CopyMonkey generates and optimizes Amazon listings in seconds. It helps place all the important keywords in your Amazon listing to get you ranking organically on the first page. And it can help create listings, but it can also edit any listings that you already have. So you can take your listing and put it through their processor. And I don't know what we're going to find, but the fact that these things are already being created is very cool. And I'm sure they're just going to get better and better and better. This is another one, stockimg.ai. You can create book covers, wallpapers, posters, logos, and stock images. A friend told me about this one, and I think she's liking it quite well, but we're going to get to Midjourney, which I think is just so cool. Another one here, Akoya.com. This helps you create and schedule content quicker. It has social media, content marketing, and copywriting. Haven't checked this one out either, but I have a whole list of stuff at the end that hopefully I can give Anna the slides, and you guys can grab the links and spend your own time combing through them to figure out what you like.
Of course.
Awesome. This one, unbounce.com. This is to turn more visitors into customers. It's the AI-powered landing page builder with smart features that let you create beautiful, high-performing marketing campaigns. But specifically for me, I'm planning on using it for email. I go to a lot of events. I talk to a lot of people. I'll sometimes have a list of like 40 people that fill out an Excel file. I'll have maybe a little note on them, but I can't remember every single conversation and every single face. And I love the idea of saying, hey, ChatGPT, or hey, Unbounce, can you say something clever about the event in Vegas that I was at last week, the ASD event, or say something specific so it sounds very personal? We all know that the more personal the email, the more likely people are going to, if the subject line is good, open it. And if the first 5 seconds of reading seems personal, they're more likely to read it. So I think emails have been dead, not dead, but like, in some ways, they've been dying. It wasn't what it was 10 or 15 years ago, because so many companies have gotten so good at getting emails and blowing up people's inboxes. The way you can stand out is with a personal touch. And believe it or not, AI can add personal touches. I have asked ChatGPT to write poems about me and my mom's dinner out in Wentzville, Missouri. And you'd be surprised how clever it can get. It's not just a fact checker or an information provider. It can get very personal, which is cool. This one is one for videos. So if you go to their homepage, it's a person saying like, the most personal thing you can do is after a purchase or after somebody visits your website is send them a personalized video, but nobody has time to do that. This website uses AI and some video. I don't know how it works, to be honest, but basically if Anna bought one of my products, I could record a video being like, hi, Anna, like I saw you bought a product. I'm so happy. I hope you love it. Check out this link if you want more information on how to construct it and the best uses, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, the only thing it kind of switches around is somehow moves your mouth and your face to say, hi, Matteo, or hi, Clayton, or hi, Brian. And it looks very real. So it looks extremely personalized. Even if they can figure it out that it's not personalized, they've already probably listened to a lot of your video, and I think it can help a lot. So this is another one that I'm telling everybody that's doing D2C and has people's emails and understands that they have already purchased, that this is a very cool one to at least test. And then my friend Amy Weiss, which I'm sure probably everybody that's presenting today knows, she posted back in January, she's an early adopter, about Midjourney. She said, I use ChatGPT and Midjourney to suggest a logo, branding, a retail display, and an innovative website for a client's brand. I did all of this in a few minutes just to show what AI can do to help with ideas and mockups. It's incredible, really. So today I'm going to draft some compelling emails. Have you started playing with AI yet? And when I saw this, that's when I really got interested. I was like, if Amy did this in a few minutes, and Amy's always an early adopter and looking for new and innovative ways to change the game, I was like, okay, I need to start diving in. So I wanted to give her a shout out for encouraging everybody to get involved. And here are the products that she created. As you can see, there's, the actual brand isn't done. This is just like fill in text, but the design is here. So you would obviously put your real brand here on the labels and on the display cases, but it's just incredible what you can feed in a few minutes and say, make a brand for whatever this is. I don't know if it's soda or paint, no clue, but it looks nice. And for something like this to have been created in seconds or minutes, imagine what this would have cost 5 years ago to get a graphic designer to do this. Unbelievable. And I need to dive in further to Midjourney, but here are some community showcase photos that they just have on their front page. And the detail, the level of creativity is just mind-boggling to think that AI can not just give you text responses, but it can help you create beautiful, beautiful art is next level. And I'm sure you guys can see the business perspective on this, that if you can create art like this, you can create convincing images for people to click on that can be eye-grabbing, attract attention, and ultimately convert and lead to an increase in your bottom line. So one thing I do want to say is you and I, everybody on this call, we're not the only ones who are going to be checking out these tools. The game has changed. The rules have been rewritten. And I want to talk about China for a second. China has already been, for a long time, selling on Amazon and just all over the web. You could oftentimes make out, a Chinese listing. It would usually be very low priced. And a lot of times the photos weren't great. The content was often worse, but they've been getting a lot better. If you go to Cat Tunnels right now and you on Amazon and you use the Seller Tools extension, seller.tools, it'll show you where the original country is of each listing, like where that business is registered. And the whole first page is almost all Chinese. This is very common amongst many products. We know China, if the factory is the one selling the product, they have the very best pricing possible. So we need to think, how do we compete 10 years from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? We know we can't beat factories on price, but we can beat them in other ways. So number one is focusing on profitability. I just said we can't beat them on price. That's true, but we can try to get the very, very best price. So with that, and people are going to hate me for saying this, but it's the 500,000 pound gorilla in the room, is that AI in some ways is going to take people's jobs away. It's just, I don't know if you guys could see my screen. It just popped up on my top right. It was a ChatGPT notification. I think I'm just sharing my tab, so you couldn't see it, but I just said exit out. That's funny. So cutting costs where you can, like cutting costs is never fun when it involves other people. I've had to fire and hire, and it's hiring's great, firing sucks. But in a world where competition is always increasing, business owners are required to make tough decisions. So if somebody can be reutilized at a different place, if you can move somebody around, great. But let's just say you're a decently sized company that has 3 copywriters or 4. Do you really need 4 anymore? Because I just showed you how, and with listings, and email writing and everything else, it can be done in seconds. And as people get better and better at writing prompts, there's going to be less and less need for so many people doing the same thing. So it sucks to say, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but it makes sense that you need to think strategically about where you're spending money and where AI can help you save money. Because even if you don't do it, other people will, and they're going to be beating you because they're going to have a lower cost basis. The other thing you can do for profitability is focus on sourcing. Sebastian from Zignify, I really like his business. It's a sourcing business. It helps you, if you have a product idea, find the best price all over the world. And it's not just if you have a brand new product idea. It can be if you have a current product. He recently helped a company in Germany find the same exact product that he was manufacturing in China for $1 less. And this unit sells 500,000 times a year. So just with that, he saved this customer $500,000. But the customer also, because of specific tax codes that have been written by the US, had a 27% import duty. He, instead of sourcing it from China, I believe got it from Vietnam. I can't be sure. They tested the quality. They checked everything. The product was fantastic, and they have gotten just as good, if not better, reviews since they switched suppliers. And Zignify, I'm not connected with them in any way whatsoever. Nick, Penev, you said, talk about partners and people that you like and, how you can give. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm not getting anything out of this, but I believe.
I was about to say that Sebastian is going to benefit the most from the webinar, from what you just mentioned.
Yeah. Sebastian is charging an hourly rate. Most of these sourcing companies, they don't tell you where they're getting the stuff from for the first few shipments. They take a percentage of each shipment. It's incredible, but Sebastian is just charging an hourly rate, and it's extremely affordable. Like, he saved that company probably close to $1 million, maybe more. And I mean, I don't know if I should share this, but the bill he sent was in, I believe, the hundreds, which is nuts. I believe the hourly rate last time I talked to him was around $70 an hour. It wasn't a ton of work to find this. Some, of course, can take more, but stuff like this, I've sourced products from China, but I don't sit here and say that I'm the best at finding products in the whole world. That's what Sebastian spends all of his time doing. And so Zignify can help you a lot with sourcing and with being savvy from a tax perspective. Negotiating with your suppliers for contract management. You're not going to have AI bot do that. That's a human, very hands-on process, similar to sourcing, similar to hiring employees. Talk to Amy about contract management and negotiating upfront, 1 year, 2 year MOQs and what your quantity orders are going to cost in the future. And because I want to not take up too much time, I'll move more quickly here. Inventory management. People that are poorly managing their inventory are overpaying for storage costs, and people that are under purchasing are hurting themselves by running out of stock, missing out on purchases. And of course, if you're selling on Amazon, your rank can plummet. So when you're back in stock, it can be a tough time to climb that mountain. Inventory management is extremely important. And then ranking. There's a document at the end of this presentation that talks about what companies, I think it's eCommerce Fuel and Trends of 2022, the companies that are winning across the board, whether it be on profits, revenue growth, pretty much all aspects of business are the ones that are storytelling, that have a message behind their product. They're not necessarily winning on price. They're not necessarily the one with the best photos. They're the ones with the best story, and people are talking about it person to person, mouth to mouth. And that has led to, a big brand awareness. So if you can tell a story, that's something that takes a lot of organization all across. And that's something that maybe people with the best price can't do, but you need to build a moat of competition where people want to buy your product because they love your story. Also ranking, specifically with Amazon, off Amazon traffic is extremely important. And ChatGPT is not the only company with an algorithm. Amazon has its own, And if anybody wants to talk to me about off Amazon traffic, Anna, you mentioned it in the beginning. Pixelme is extremely useful as a ranking strategy by pushing off Amazon traffic with keyword search from Google onto Amazon. We're seeing incredible results with that, to the point where now we've created a wait list because we've grown too quickly. And inventory management, again, if you don't run out of stock, you don't hurt yourself to be able to rank. If you do run out of stock, it's going to be bad. So guys, I'll send this out with Anna, but there's some links to learn about how AI models are built and what the future holds. That's in PC Guide and in Reddit. I mentioned e-commerce trends, where you can read all about the trends and how things are progressing in the online in e-commerce. Futurepedia is a link of way more AI tools than I could talk about today. And then the last one is something I created. It has 68 different prompts, 8 of them, which I spent a ton of time crafting, that can you can put into ChatGPT and just change the product, and you'll be amazed at what you find and what results you get. 8 of them are very, very good. I've spent a lot of time on it. If anybody wants to reach out to me, this is my email, and this is my QR code that goes to my LinkedIn. So my name's Clayton Atchison. I tried to fire through that. I'm not sure how many minutes I spent, but I appreciate you guys listening.
Yeah, thanks, Clayton. It's been another amazing presentation today, and yeah, just as we were talking in the beginning, everyone did an amazing job preparing this information for today, and we do hope that you guys are enjoying it so far. So if you have any questions, just a quick reminder, if you have any questions for Clayton, please share in the comments section. And at the end of the webinar, we will have a Q&A session, and the speakers will be replying those.
And yeah, Oliver, Brian, and the questions, he's right. It's seller.tools. It's the extension, not the website. And believe it or not, Brian is my neighbor in Puerto Rico. He lives like one building away. So hi, Brian.
Oh, that's very cool. So, yeah, I think that probably we're ready to proceed with the last speaker for today, who is Oxana. Oxana. And yeah, basically, we with Oxana are co-founders of ScaleJet. We do have e-commerce businesses hire great people. This is what we do. And with the hands-on operational and team building experience, we really know how the whole process works in terms of not just hiring people, but like really building the processes for e-com. So this is why today we are happy to share on this topic on the future of e-commerce teams and how AI is changing it. And it really does. As you probably have noticed from previous speakers' presentations, it really makes a change. And I think that at this point, I will just give a word to Oxana. So Oxana, you're more than welcome.
Okay, let me start. Anna, am I sharing the presentation? Yeah, thank you. So I'm Oxana, the co-founder of ScaleJet, as Anna mentioned, and we created the agency with that purpose. Actually, I've been in the e-com managing big operations, e-com operations and building teams since 2016. And one thing that we mentioned that normally e-com owners and business leaders, they need to focus on things that they love doing the most, which is like in most cases, marketing, some customer acquisition, while building teams is something that is hard to do because people issues always arise. And with that purpose of helping those owners to build their teams, we created ScaleJet. And as Nick mentioned, for us, it's also building partnerships, because our goal is not just hire someone for a team. Like, we are not doing massive recruiting per se. We want to bring those A players that will help building amazing businesses together and bringing companies forward, and also helping providing consulting services on how to build those teams. And actually, going further to our topic today, I want to start with this focus on why the advent of AI has brought such a significant change to the traditional way of doing business. And, like, all of us are asking ourselves nowadays how this is going to change in a couple of years. And that's what all the presentations were about today, right? So I remember myself when I was a kid going to the museum with tools that nobody knows how to use anymore, right? So sometimes people right now feel themselves in that position. Okay, how this is going to be in a couple of years, and things are changing so fast. So should we worry? Should we strategize? Yes, sure, we should strategize. We should think about, in terms of team, what's the most efficient way. As Clayton said, some roles will most probably get redundant for sure, but most roles will need to acquire and perform new skills to remain relevant on the market. So AI has the potential to automate so many tasks that were previously performed in the e-com companies by humans, like including customer service, inventory management, and many others, like data analysis and so on and so forth. So how do we deal with that? How we optimize job roles efficiently to stay ahead of competition? That's where we are asking ourselves. So I want to start with the talent acquisition and management perspective. First of all, the change that we are already seeing right now is in the skill assessment. Think about this. Like, you've been all talking about today, all the speakers. I mean, we're talking today about using ChatGPT for generating content. So imagine candidate CV now can become more and more perfect, like generated ad hoc for each position to perfectly meet the requirement. And this is one thing. And we know for a fact with Anna that the most repeated mistakes that all companies are doing when they are hiring people is falling in love with CVs, and with skills. People are paying so much attention to CVs that they just skip all other important characteristics. So this is one thing that we are noticing already right now. So if you are looking only on CV and the test, for example, even developers test right now can be easily performed by means of AI, right? So now the big shift that you need to do when you're hiring your A players, your team members, is towards real communication. So screening interviews need to be done with highly qualified recruiting specialists and managers. So you talk to people, not even video interviews. It should be done in purpose. And with that goes another challenge in the area of AI algorithms and so on, is that now you need to spend more time to find qualified candidate, but you need to do it faster. So it's a paradox, because other companies are chasing these talents, like really great talents, and with the use of AI, they can do it faster. If you are a smaller company and others have tools, so what do? Actually, time spent for hiring an A player right now should be reduced a lot. So in-house recruiting teams most probably will be losing this competition. They cannot compete with bigger agencies. So using these AI technologies for screening candidates, finding those that can fit the job, can be really beneficial. Another thing that I want to mention here is actually that more and more emphasis should be put to the culture fit. Because think about that, everybody is mentioning right now, the technical skills will be most probably delegated to machines somewhere soon, right? So now what comes first is the cultural fit. So those people who can learn fast, who really are creative thinkers, who has growth mindset, that they can adopt these technologies and use them in their roles, and not just being, like technical process fulfillers in a way. So, and this brings us to another point of talent management, is actually how do we retain those talents that can help us to build the business forward. Is actually using these AI tools can help us to screen our current teams and use this data in order to create personalized trainings, personalized approach, in order to keep them in the company, because the cost of hiring will go higher and higher in the next years. Because as we mentioned, the skill that people will perform will become more and more sophisticated. So technical skills will go redundant. Therefore, I just want to here go from hiring and from talent acquisition to talk a little bit more about the shapes of the teams most probably will be taking in the future. So, as mentioned already, automate technical repetitive tasks, something that Clayton has mentioned. You need to save cost. So something that is already done by multiple e-com players, like creating listing, generating titles, review analysis, marketing research, chatbots, and so on. But this is just a beginning. Today we saw a lot of examples of new tools that you can start using, start playing to keep being ahead of the competition. Basically, the goal is to automate as many technical tasks as possible without damaging your business quality, let's say. Then another area, which is obvious, right, is customer service. So here, in terms of people, if we focus on that, we should definitely mention that the shift will happen. Something that Matteo mentioned on the beginning. We don't want robotic answers, right? But we need someone who will be training and fine-tuning systems in order to respond to people. So the shift will be happening from the real people answering to someone who will be fine-tuning the systems. Because right now, 24 hours, 7 days per week, customer service is a definite need. Everybody is doing that. You cannot do without. So how do you do that? With you either need to hire all those people around the world who do not sleep, or of course use AI technologies, use chatbots. By the way, on another slide here, 1 of 5 customers, according to Ubisoft report, are eager to buy from chatbots. So customers do not care that much. There are more and more people who are willing to buy from chatbots. So also in the team shape, the new emerging positions that are worth definitely mentioning here is data privacy and security specialists. I think it's going to be a must for in the next years, because you need to keep data private, and there will be more and more demand for customer data protection. So this is what we are already seeing as a need right now in the customer service. And Matteo spoke a lot about customer journey and customer experience. The possibilities are endless, but there should be strategical specialists who will guide all these efforts forward, who will bring forward these changes, actually. Okay, then now something that I want really to put some emphasis on is AI-driven shift in the business management and decision making. So if you look in the data analysis right now, like business owners tend to use systems, but not to the point where it really guides the decision making. So people who will be able to help them fine-tune this system and work on data, huge data sets, will be definitely a need for the next upcoming, I would say, it's already a reality. So it's very, it's just an emerging trend right now already. As mentioned, digital marketing strategists, think about this. Right now, a lot of emphasis is put to keywords and the way that Clayton, you were speaking about listing creation, right? So using keywords, but think about the trends that already is emerging right now, using Alexa and AI tools in order to make choices, what to buy. So it's another way that the marketing overall is going to be shifting. So these specialists who are going to be looking forward into emerging trends and proposing new solutions towards SEO, for example, is another thing that, in my opinion, e-com business owners should be thinking already right now. And then I would like to mention that scaling your team is something that will help you to stay competitive, whatever it takes. Investing in employee training to acquire new AI-related skills. You cannot invest better than into acquiring skills, into knowledge, right? So it will cost you way less than hiring someone who was trained not by you, but by somebody else. Be open to create new job roles. Not only you will save on making roles redundant, but on creating new roles. Because if you think about the past, right, those that were the first to use some technologies to create new trends, they won. This is something that needs to be done also in your team, thinking about the future and creating these roles today. And we need to embrace that AI is already there. That's it. It's not going to change. We need to embrace and use this technology to serve our businesses. So this is like briefly summarizing. We also mentioned the optimized supply chain, which I don't want to repeat. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful and brought you some perspective on how teams can look like with the AI technologies. Please feel free to contact us, me and Anna. We are happy to help you with shaping your team, helping you finding your A players. And yeah, Anna, back to you.
Thank you, Oksana. So yeah, just like in order to, just to summarize, it's basically, as a matter of fact, that there is no place just to sit and to wait for anything to happen. You really need to strategize. And it goes for all the parts of your e-commerce business, not just about hiring. it really does change our lives. It really does change the way how businesses are run. So just before you I don't know, like go into and you make a new decision, another decision, just make sure that you do think of it, take into consideration what's happening right now, and that you don't miss, because if you miss with these things, the competitors want, and it will be a pity. So yeah, probably that's pretty much it. And we have a couple of questions here. And Matteo, the one that is for you, it's about, sorry, could someone mute, because there's something happening on the background.
It's either Matteo or Nick, because they were the only ones without mute.
Right. Okay. Thank you. All good for now. So
Very silent
yeah.
in here, so I don't know what's going on. This is aliens.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So the question is Nike's example hybrid segmentation or unique per visitor based on DMP data or first party? So it is getting back to your presentation. So if you just need a minute to get back there.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. So the question is Nike's example hyper segmentation or unique per visitor based on DMP data or first party? So
I don't have an answer to this. I'll have to dig more into the case study, because
okay.
I was able to, when I started to research, was actually really using AI to create it as adaptive. I found some data of Nike. It was really hard to actually go in depth in what actually they used. So I was able just to find a little bit of information from articles. They actually published a blog, and I found it weird that their blog, then it was ranking on Google, but then when I looked for the blog, it was gone. So I don't know why. So I'm afraid I don't have the answer on this.
Okay, it's fine.
But it's a good question, and it would be good to research.
Okay, thank you.
My guess would be first party data, like just
yeah.
because,
I think my guess would be first party data. Yeah.
And Nike, like they have, like there's user accounts, right? You can log into Nike.com, and if they know what you bought in the past, like it's your shoe size, but also like it's your style. What colors do you like?
Yeah, I think it's right. Yeah.
I think DMP is more general and based on like click behavior and other things. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess.
No, I think as well, it's like we've been exploring this a lot as well, even like in PopUp, because what we do, we can create actually different landing pages with entry points, and some people were asking, hey, can you actually route the traffic based on where the user is? And literally the only thing we can do is like if it's coming from mobile and desktop. But I believe that as we approach the cookieless future, there's no point to investing in anything that is going to be relying on cookies, because eventually I think that door is going to be closed, right? So I agree with you, Clayton. I think it's obviously third-party data. Yeah. And even if it's not, they should just focus on that.
Okay, that's great. So I have just double checked, and the thing is that while you guys were speaking, you also have answered the other questions. So I think we're good, and we're pretty much done with the questions so far.
I wanted to give a thing just for you, Clayton. Actually, something that I discovered. I love sharing tricks with the Midjourney. So if you go like in prompts. So there is a trick that I use to generate like different variations on banners for like landing pages or things like that. So what I do, I take a screenshot of like a website that I like, and then you go like you can do like /imagine, right? So what you do, you upload the picture into Discord, and then you take that link from Discord. So you have to copy the Discord link that has been uploaded within the server, and then you go imagine, and then you copy the link into Midjourney, and then you give them different prompts like make it more nature model or whatever it is, and then you actually generate an image that is based on the image that you give them.
I love that, man.
Yeah, really good.
By the way, today I was planning to check out Midjourney for my next webinar. Okay, man, this headset. So to create like a banner, because you use the same template, so it would be like that. Like imagine, like screenshot of the old banner. Imagine, change like new, like speaker names, speaker, whatever, and it's gonna create the new one. Is that simple?
Yeah, the trick is like you have to take the screenshot, then you have to upload it into Discord, and then you have to copy the link. So you have to use the link copied in the Discord server, not the screenshot link like let's say do in I don't know whatever you're using. Yeah. That's the only difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can create probably YouTube thumbnails as well.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, and I think the other trick is like at the end you do -- no mockup. And so it actually creates a perfect one of the most similar image of what you have, not like a mock-up image.
Yeah, but by the way, Oksana, I don't think people would go out of business. I mean, you need people like Matteo and people who can tell you how to use AI, because AI is good, but it's not. I mean, the issue is that people are getting exactly more and more like lazier and lazier. So you always need somebody who is not that lazy, who is gonna tell you how to use AI. So that's for sure. So.
You are super right. That's exactly what we were sharing. Like technical people, yes, but instead you need to work on finding those strategic people who will be using those technical tools.
Yeah, and like Clayton said, I mean, he spent so much time to create the prompt, so people wouldn't do that. Most people wouldn't do that. So, I mean, this is actually a lot of work. I mean, to actually go ahead and create the prompts, summarize them, so somebody can use them. So, I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. So,
I think the content creation side of things, what I've noticed is that the future is going to be video, because video is going to be the only thing that we can express content through words and to actually connect with people through video. So what I do a lot is like I use ChatGPT to craft maybe a script of something that I want to do or want to say, and that saves me time. But then I'm still going in front of the video and recite the script or giving value, right? So I think whatever you do, just like get comfortable being in front of a camera, because it's the only way I think that you're gonna stand out eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Matteo, is there like an AI software who can actually take the webinar recording and cut probably like shorts from that?
Yeah.
Yes, there is not a webinar software, but I started using Firefly, Firefly.ai, which is a note taker, but they added AI into the note taking app. So it means that once you actually have the meeting now, it gives me a summary of the meeting, and then I can ask the AI questions about the meeting. It's like, hey, what did the person say? What was the mood and things like that.
Okay,
so it's not necessarily the webinar, but it would work for a webinar too, because it records the conversations.
I know, but see, there is not like an AI software which can see which is the best, let's say 1-2 minute spotlight from each speaker, so it can cut that. That would be hard, I mean, to do, right?
Like micro content, you mean?
Yeah, so for example, right now, I mean, option 1, Anna would need to watch the whole webinar and to choose, let's say, 1 minute short for each speaker to do as a spotlight. So ideally, if you have a software who can actually go through the whole video, I mean, but how can the AI understand which is the best?
We are at this point now where there is such
that would save a lot of time, because see,
right.
I can tell you what I do.
Automatically edits podcasts. I am trying to find it.
I use, it's not really automated, but I use Descript to do that. So whenever I go through a podcast or a webinar, then obviously Descript will give me like the transcription, and then I go through the best part of the transcription, and then and Descript basically is like a video editor but it's like editing video to text, right?
Okay. I'm asking for that.
I wouldn't trust. This is one of the things. I would never trust AI to understand which parts of a webinar we want to use, because obviously I know my customer much better than AI. So I wouldn't trust that they pick really the best bits, right?
Exactly. So that was my question, because what we've been doing recently in my webinars is that we cut them into shorts, like each speaker. We cut that, and ideally, we might do like a 1-minute short for each speaker, so I can post that on socials, and everybody gets more views after the webinar. So, but like it, it's still, you need to do manual stuff. Of course, the tools are going to help, but
that's the thing is, like, I think AI will never be able to replace human in that, because it's like, how can you know what is the best part?
Be careful, Matteo. Be careful. They could be listening.
They can be listening, right? Skynet, Terminator, right? That's the future.
Exactly. If you watch the 90s movies, they hope that we'll be flying in like airplanes.
Yeah, right? So even what I said about video, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like, now virtual people that are going to look like me, and then they're going to speak like me, and no one is going to notice.
Brian messaged me and said that Norm talked about using Pictory, Pictory.ai, to edit and summarize his podcast. He hasn't used it, but Norm suggested it. And I can't type in the main chat, but there's one video, vidyo.ai, which, to your guys' point, isn't perfect. It doesn't say you don't even need to watch the video. We picked out the most important parts, but it says it saves like 90% of the time and effort in editing and cutting. So for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. So.
Yes, I heard. Yeah, I saw this. Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta run. I'm so sorry. It was lovely hanging out with you guys. Feel free to stick around without me, but I gotta go.
Yeah. You need to go to the beach, right? The summer is with you, so.
The summer's with me.
We have a meeting, right? We're meeting.
The beach is right here. The beach is in front of me, and I can't go. I got more work. So it's like torture.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Clayton.
And Nick, we meet soon, I think.
Yeah, I think next week, I guess.
Next week, yeah. I'm a bit crazy now in London, but yeah, next week we'll meet. We talk partnerships. I love. I've never done partnership before, and I love what you said about partnership, because it makes me feel like, I think I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah. By the way, I have a lot of partners who can help you out, and vice versa. And I think more you're gonna help them out. So I'm surprised that you're not doing more of those.
No, we are. It's just because, we don't really have a public API yet. So the partnership that we can do are very limited in the point, like co-marketing opportunities. But in terms of tech integrations, it's just, so that's why I haven't pushed too much.
Yeah. By the way, the API partnerships are probably the highest level. So it's first like content. So some companies just do API, but this is probably the highest level. Once you fully trust the other guys, then you go into API. So API is like marriage, this is the last part,
Oh yeah, let's go for some dates, right? That's what you said. Let's go for a drink.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, and guys, I think that this is the time for us to wrap up for today. We actually went far beyond our timeline.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
But I think this is great. The most important thing is that everybody had the opportunity to share, and that really lots of information was shared here today. So what we are going to do, our team is going to gather like a summary of everything that was shared today here, and we are going to share it everywhere. So basically, in order to, just distribute this content, just so people like really are able to act on it, and those who were not able to join us today, so we will be doing it for you, for all of you guys. So Matteo, Nick, Oxana, and everyone who has been with us today, thank you so much for your time. Let us know how we did. If you have any recommendations, feel free to share them as well. And we'll see you soon then.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for
having
me. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.